Another researcher writes that Roman Catholic scholar Pierre Teilhard du Chardin taught that the God to be worshipped is the one who will arise out of the evolving human race. Surely man's desire echoes Lucifer's proud boast. The book of Isaiah says of him, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High."
I will, I will, I will. You know, this guy's an egomaniac, self-deceived egomaniac. I think he really thinks he's going to win the battle with God. Anyway, he said, I will be like the Most High. I mean, you got to be really deluded even to say that. That's the impossible dream. How many Most Highs can there be? I mean, you can't have. That's why God is called the Most High God. Okay? Now, there are a lot of other pretender gods, but he says to them, Jeremiah 10, verses 10 and 11, I'm the true God that created this universe. You say to the gods who have not made this heaven and earth, they will perish from under this heaven and from this earth. So, in that one ambition, I will be like the Most High, Lucifer did away with monotheism, one true God. He introduced polytheism. There will be many gods. Well, I'll be one of them. In fact, he's going to be the supreme one.
Lucifer's desire to be like the Most High God has compelled him to counterfeit the things of God. It is for this reason that so many similarities exist between the pagan religions of the world and Christianity. The Virgin Mother Goddess cult is perhaps the greatest example of this. Bible scholars believe that God's promise in the Garden of Eden concerning the seed of the woman, as opposed to the seed of the man, is the earliest reference to the virgin birth. It is for this reason that we find so many counterfeit virgin mothers in the pagan religions, mothers that look very similar to the paintings of the Virgin Mary, holding their sons who are often called deliverers. In paganism, one of the titles given to the Mother Goddess figures is the Queen of Heaven, a title that Rome has also given to the Catholic Virgin Mary. But in the Bible, Mary was never called a queen, and nobody ever prayed to her. In fact, in the book of Jeremiah, God specifically condemns prayers and offerings to the so-called Queen of Heaven. This confusion has caused some New Agers to suggest that Christianity is based upon pagan doctrines. New Age writer David Icke writes that Jesus was born to a virgin, but so was Krishna, Buddha, Lao Tse, Confucius, Horus, Ra, Zoroaster, Prometheus, Perseus, Apollo, Mercury, Baldur, Quetzalcoatl, and far too many others to mention. But what Icke and New Agers fail to realize is that Satan has for centuries been counterfeiting the promise of God concerning a deliverer, something that God promised in the Garden of Eden when he spoke of the seed of the woman that would bruise the head of the serpent. Just as God laid the foundation for the Messiah through the prophecies of the Scripture and fulfilled them in Jesus Christ, so Satan has prepared the world through the ancient mystery religions for the coming of Antichrist. The Greek prefix anti holds two meanings. It means against, but it also means another or in the place of. Therefore, Antichrist is literally another Christ. Teilhard du Chardin, who is known as one of the most frequently quoted writers by leading New Age occultists, defines perhaps better than any the Antichrist prophesied throughout the New Age movement. Teilhard said, quote, I believe that the Messiah whom we await, whom we all without any doubt await, is the universal Christ. That is to say, the Christ of evolution. Teilhard said, a general convergence of religions upon a universal Christ who fundamentally satisfies them all. That seems to me the only possible conversion of the world, and the only form in which a religion of the future can be conceived. Teilhard's views have been warmly welcomed by Pope John Paul II, who praised the wonderful repercussions of his research and investigations. The Pope has furthered Teilhard's vision through the ecumenical movement.
The Pope is the leader of an ecumenical movement like this world has never seen. He gathered 160 leaders of the world's 12 major religions there in Assisi. Who was there? Snake worshippers, literally. Some snake worshippers, fire worshippers, spiritists, animists, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, North American Indian witch doctors. They're painting feathers, fetishes, and rattles, walking to the microphone, to pray for peace. And he said, we're all praying to the same God. Our prayers are creating a spiritual energy, bringing about a new climate for peace. So there is an ecumenical movement. It won't just be the Catholics. I mean, you can see they're all joining the Catholic Church. The ecclesial head of the Church of England, the Archbishop of Canterbury, he says, oh, we got to come back under the Pope. Robert Schuller says, what do we have to do to say to the shepherd, how do we come home, They're all talking about we've got to acknowledge the leadership of the Pope. So you have this ecumenical movement, and all of them will join under Rome.
The ecumenical movement has compelled Pope John Paul II to put on the garments of paganism in more ways than one. The Pope kissed the Muslim Quran, a book that vehemently denies Jesus as the Son of God. He allowed his friend, the Dalai Lama, to replace the cross with a statue of Buddha on the altar of St. Peter's Church in Assisi, and for the Dalai Lama and his monks to perform their Buddhist worship there. The Pope even received the mark of Shiva on his forehead. Shiva is the Hindu god who is called the Lord of Death. Disturbing to some researchers is the fact that according to the Satanic Bible, Shiva is a synonym for Satan. The drive to establish a universal religion has influenced some of the highest levels of the Protestant churches as well.